Yes, students, so now we learn regarding the anatomy and physiology of the gonadal hormones or gonadal glands. So the gonad is a organ so that can make the gametes in both female as well as the males. So they will be having the gonads. So those gonads, so they can make the special type of the hormones. So those are known as the testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. So these hormones as considered as the gonadal hormones, and these hormones, so they are play important role in the overall growth of the male as well as female. So the development of the human body regarding the secondary sexual characters in the male, so that was depending upon the testosterone. In the female, the development and growth of the body as well as the development of the secondary sexual characters and organ, so that was depending upon the estrogen and the progesterone. If any abnormalities, so that was responsible for to cause of the hypofunctions. So in the male, the gonads are considered as the testes, and it was involved in the secretions of the testosterone. And in the male, in the female, the gonads are the ovaries. And both testes and ovaries, so they are involved in the secretions of the hormones. So regarding the testosterone, estrogen, and as well as the progesterones. So here the testes, so they are involved in the spermatozoa, that is the productions of the sperms, and here the ovaries, so they are involved in the synthesis of the egg cells, so those are known as the gametes. So now we can learn regarding the hormones like a testosterone. So dear students, the testosterone is the principal hormones or principal androgen, so that was secreted from the mature testes. Okay, so normally in the young men produces 7 mg of the testosterone each day. So that is less than 5% of the testosterone, so that was secreted from the adrenal glands. So regarding the biosynthesis of testosterone, the testosterone synthesis or secretion, so that was mainly depending upon the hormones, so that was secreted from the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, it can secrete the one hormone that was known as the gonadal releasing hormone. So that hormone reaches to the pituitary gland. Then the pituitary gland, it was involved in the secretions of the FSH and LH. So that LHS, FSH, they reaches to the testicles. Then the testicles, it was involved in the secretions of the testosterones. Okay, so regarding the site for synthesis of testosterone, the testosterone is mainly synthesis in the testes by a Leydig cells and as well as in small quantity. So those are secreted from the adrenal gland, from the zona reticulata in the both sexes, in male and female. The testosterone is secreted from the zona reticulata. It is the innermost layer of the that is the adrenal cortex. Then as well as that is the thicker cell of the ovaries, so they can secrete the small amount of the androgens. If any abnormal condition, so where the secretion is increases, so due to that reasons the female characters becomes the male. So regarding the precursors that is required for the biosynthesis of testosterone, so the testosterone they require the synthesized from the cholesterol. Then cholesterol was converted into pregnenolone by the enzyme cytochrome P450. Then finally it was converted into androstenedione by the two pathway, that is through the progesterone delta A4 pathway, as well as through a 17 hydroxypregnenolone, that is the delta 5 pathway. So regarding the physiological effects of the androgens, so androgens they are play an important role in the growth, development, and maintenance of the male reproductive organs, and as well as the androgen, so they are helpful for the sexual differentiation. It can helpful for to differentiate the gametes, or it can helpful for to differentiate the male and as well as the female. Okay, so due to that reason, the androgen it was play important role in the sexual differentiation, and as well as the androgen it was involved in the development of the secondary sexual characters as well as secondary sexual organs in the male. Okay, so the androgens, so they are play an important in the spermatogenesis. The spermatogenesis is the process involved in the synthesis of the sperms. So as well as in the male, so the androgen, so they are responsible for the development of the aggressive behavior. Okay, so that is increase. If the secretion was increased, means the aggressive behavior was increases. Okay, so regarding the pubertal transformation, so where the androgen is helpful for the enlargement of the testes, penis, and as well as the scrotum. Then it is also involved in the development of the pubic and axillary hair, and as well as the testosterone, it can strengthen the bone by participating in the development of the bone, that is the bone, or it can enhance the stimulations of the epiphyseal cartilage, that cartilage involved in the absorptions of the more minerals. Due to that, the bones are more developed. And also the testosterone, it can stimulate the rbm. So due to stimulations of rbm, the RBC number is increases. So that's why the male will be having the more RBC as compared to the female, due to only the testosterone is more present in the male as compared to the female. So that's why, so that testosterone is also stimulate the RBM. So RBM is the site for synthesis of the RBC. Okay, so due to that, the male will be having the more RBC or erythrocyte or red blood cells as compared to the female. And testosterone, it was also increase the muscle mass by increasing the protein synthesis in the muscle, or by increasing in the strength of the muscle. So that is under the influence of the testosterone, it can enhance the overall protein synthesis in the body. So that protein was utilized in the to increase the muscle strength. So that's why the testosterone or androgen, they can stimulate the skeletal muscles. So that's why the strength of the body or strength power of the male body, that was depending upon the androgen. In the female, if the androgen was more secreted, means the female skeletal muscle is mass is also increases. Okay, as well as it was responsive for the that is the enlarge of the larynx. So due to that, after the puberty, so the male voice can be increases, or deepening of the voice can be increases due to under the influence of secretions of the androgens. Then also it can increase the sebaceous gland, so that was responsible to cause of the essence. So during the puberty only, so we will be having the oily secretions, because so that androgen, it can stimulate the sweat gland or sebaceous gland. Due to that, the oily secretion was increases. So in the puberty, in the growing age, if the oily secretion or skin become the oily, means so that is the indications of the androgen secretion will be the started in the both male and as well as in the female. And also the androgen, it was helpful for the development of the beards. So next one, so regarding the biochemical functions of androgen, so androgens, it mainly involved in the protein metabolism. So where it was increase the synthesis of RNA, that is the transcription, and as well as it can enhance the translation, that was involved in the synthesis of the protein. So due to that, the androgen, they increase the more proteins, and due to more protein synthesis, the overall the development of the body in the male, that was increases, including the increase the growth and strength of the muscular or skeletal system. So that was associated with the puberty. So that's why in the puberty age only in the male, the growth is the rapidly increases under the influence of the secretions of the androgens. So androgens is also participate in the carbohydrates and as well as the fat metabolism. So regarding the carbohydrates, the androgen, they can facilitate the glycolysis, that is the breakdown of the glucose, so that can produce the ATP. So that ATP was helpful for the development of the body, and also it can cause the productions of d fructose d glucose by seminal vesicles, and also it can increase the fatty acid synthesis and regulate the citric acid cycle. And the androgen is also participate in the mineral metabolism, it can promote the androgens. So that is regarding the